Welcome to our July edition of Live with Laura with Wealth Management in a Box. So today you have myself, Laura Hamilton, and you have Anissa on as well. Catherine was unable to make it today, but you guys all know Catherine, and we will miss her not being on here today. So what we're going to go over today is we're going to provide information on our July scholarship. We're also going to work with Wealth Management in conjunction with Symetra Life Insurance to introduce the new instant issue life product. I am so excited. I can't wait for you guys to see this new product. You're absolutely going to love it. And then if you haven't already read the AsNoa Advantage newsletter, Anissa put in information on how to enter life policies into Epic. So if you did not get that information, please email training@asnoa.com so we can make sure that you get that information, so you know when you're selling all the life policies this month to win that July scholarship to our AsNoa conference, you'll know how to enter those into Epic properly. So we're very excited about that. So thanks, Anissa, for putting that together for everybody. We want to keep everything interactive today, so please chat in your questions, raise your hands. We do not want to miss any questions that you guys may have. We got a great group here that is going to be going over all of your questions, so please make sure we want to keep this interactive. And today with us, with Wealth Management in a Box, we have Kelly Carter and Steve Conte. They are partners with Wealth Management in a Box, and Joyce Thomas, the Life Sales Relations Manager, and Lisa Vanderfin, who is the Director of Marketing. And also with Symetra, we have Mark Nozick, the Swift Term Champion, and Chuck Fowler, AVP Underwriter, and Aaron Carter, Swift Term Product Owner. So we are so excited to have them with us today. And it goes right in line with our July scholarship for our conference that's in October. So if you haven't already registered, please make sure that you get registered for our upcoming conference. And the scholarship for July is most new life written premium issued between July 1st and July 31st, which is fantastic. With this new product, you can have that instant issue. So we are really excited to hear about that. We also have our AsNoa University Advocate. So as you join Live with Laura's, you attend Small Business Commercial, which starts tomorrow, you're going to receive points and also win a scholarship as well. So without further ado, thank you, Kelly, very much for joining us today and showing us the new products.
Thanks for having us, Laura. We're excited to be here. We got a great team. Laura, I can take over the screen from here.
You certainly can.
All right, perfect. Let me just jump in there and kind of show you where we're at here. So today we're really going to talk about the evolution of term life. Many of you have been contracted working with Joyce, myself, and Steve, and the team at Wealth Management in a Box. We're going on 3 years now with the platform, and we're very excited about what's happening and how things are progressing. For those of you that are fairly new to this model and understanding who we are as Wealth in a Box, this platform was built exclusively for AsNoa in partnership with Creative One, who is our back office provider of all our products and services. My background, Steve's background, we own a financial planning firm. I'm a registered investment advisor, fiduciary. So we have a full service suite of services designed to do numerous things. One of them is to assist each and every one of your affiliates to identify new opportunities and develop an overall marketing strategy to enhance your brand, not ours, not AsNoa's, but yours as part of the AsNoa family, which in turn increases client retention, which increases wallet share and that differentiation. The firms that have been with us and on board from day one are seeing tremendous growth in not only their revenue, but their property and casualty business, because being a full service risk management firm provides so many other opportunities for you to offer those additional services to those clients, when in many cases, they would be going elsewhere to get that information. So we're really excited about that. And At the end of the day, without further ado, I want to bring in Mark Nosek from Symetra, and I'm going to turn it over to you here, Mark, in just a second. But I really want you to understand that the partnership we have with Symetra has been phenomenal. And this program and this rollout is going to make your opportunity to grow your revenue and increase your benefits to your clients is going to be very seamless. And I think you're going to be very excited. So Mark, without further ado, I'm going to hand the microphone and the screen over to you. We just need you to unmute, Mark. I think you're still muted.
I am. Thank you, Kelly, for that. Well, thank you, Kelly, again for that introduction, and thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day. Here at Symetra, we couldn't be more appreciative of the opportunity to meet with you to talk about our innovative Symetra Swift Term product. Before we begin, just a quick introduction again to the Swift Term members that are on the call today. My name is Mark Nosek. I am the Symetra Swift Term champion, and I'm tasked with training and providing support to all of our relationships countrywide. We also have Chuck Fowler, who's our AVP Underwriting Digital Platform. And Chuck has been instrumental in the development of all things underwriting for Swift Term. And then also happy to have Erin Charter here on the call today as well. She's been an integral member as well. She's a business analyst lead here on the Swift Term team. So I speak not only for our Swift Term team, but also our Symetra leadership team when I say that we're really thrilled and excited to be offering Swift Term. It's a major initiative for the company in 2021. Development has taken close to 18 months and hundreds of dedicated people working together. So truly a collaborative effort across numerous teams within Symetra. So today I'm going to cover why you'll want to consider Swift Term, and we'll review the Swift Term process as well as the product features. I'll also go over the marketing and support resources that we've made available to you. I'll also highlight some important considerations related to both the producer drop ticket and the insured application inputs within iPipeline. So let's jump right in. So term life insurance. Well, as we all know, term life insurance certainly isn't new, but with the official launch of Swift Term, the platform and approach is new for Symetra, and we think this will be a game changer. Swift Term offers an innovative, fully digital process that makes buying and selling life insurance faster and easier. Combining this innovative process with a top-tier price product, we believe will open up opportunities for you to reach new markets and new customers. So why Swift Term? Well, first, it offers an online process from beginning to end, which makes it fast and easy for the BGA, producers like you and your clients. Clients can do it all on their laptop, tablet, or smartphone if they choose. This product offers face amounts as low as $100,000, which can make it affordable for more people. The automated process respects your time as well, so those health or medical questions are not asked of clients because the client can answer those questions by themselves on their own time. And with instant approval, from start of the drop ticket through the application, all the way to the end of issuance of the policy, everything is automated and can be completed in as little as 25 minutes. And we offer top-tier pricing to ensure we're competitive. It's truly easy for you and your customers. So due in large part to the pandemic, more people are interested in term insurance than ever before. But sometimes even people who know they need life insurance don't buy it. And why? Well, because they dread the process. And there's been the ongoing concern of meeting with people face to face. And in ever increasing numbers, doing business digitally is the new normal. And it's clear that a digital process can be applied to make buying life insurance easier. But we do know that people still want and need the advice of a trusted financial professional. So a process that's digital combined with advice you offer brings clients the best of both worlds. And it offers the opportunity for you to compete with online companies such as Ladder, Bestow, Ethos, for example, who make the process fast and easy. Swift Term can help attract clients who are just starting out. It's an opportunity to offer a great client experience to people who could become lifetime clients. And we know that many who are adept at technology respond well to an automated process. And this is a great way to present a modern alternative for what is often thought of as old school. Lower face amounts can make Swift Term more affordable for a middle market customer, and the process makes term life insurance more attractive to busy clients, many of which include millennials, single parents, and women. So here's a slide showing a high-level overview of the automated process, and it provides an easy, simple process for you. So the producer completes a drop ticket in iPipeline in a matter of minutes, and an agent validation process occurs within the early part of the drop ticket, and we'll discuss that in a later slide. Once you complete the drop ticket, the application is automatically emailed to your client. The client completes the application when it's convenient for them, so they can choose to do it right away, or they may complete it at a later time that's more convenient for them. They could also start the application and come back later to finish. Okay, and it's important to note that there is no tele interview done in this process. It's a totally digital application process. The client then completes the application and signs with e-signature. At that point, one of 3 decisions will be made and provided to the client from Symetra. The 3 decisions are instant approval, accelerated underwriting, or full underwriting. And we'll talk more in detail in a few slides. Once an offer is made, at the end of any of these 3 decisions, the client would then accept. The client pays online and they're covered. The process is also easy for customers. So the applicant is provided with a convenient, fully automated, all digital experience that includes the electronic application, signature, payment options, contract, and self-service. Just want to highlight here on the slide the e-payment. Credit card payments are permitted for face amounts less than $500,000. So we accept credit card payments for less than $500,000, $500,000 and above to $2 million. We accept bank draft. Clients will receive an email link to access the Swift Term application, as we mentioned, and they'll follow one of 3 paths of success. The first path, as I mentioned, is instant approval for qualified applicants. Requires no human touch, and it's available for applicants with minimal adverse history. Coverage is possible within as little as 25 minutes. The second path is accelerated underwriting, and it requires a light human touch, where after the application is submitted, the underwriter will take a look, and coverage is within 24 to 72 hours. Third path is full underwriting, which requires a full medical evaluation. And this is required for cases with a more complex history or perhaps limited digital information is available. And coverage is within 30 days. But regardless of the path, the applicant still has a convenient, fully digital experience from start to finish. So up until now, Symetra, with its core term product, has offered a very competitive product, well suited for the larger face amount, older demographic. Now with Swift Term, the product, and perhaps most important, the process, offers the opportunity to serve more people. It's tailored to a younger demographic, targeting ages 25 to 50, although we do offer coverage as young as age 20 and as old as age 60. And as mentioned earlier, it provides for lower face amounts, as low as $100,000, with top tier pricing up to and including $2 million. As you can see, it provides a full range of available risk classes, including rated and substandard. Swift Term provides a full range of term durations, 10, 15, 20, and 30. We have a built-in rider, which is the accelerated death benefit rider for terminal illness. We have 3 optional riders, the accidental death benefit rider, children's term insurance rider, and the waiver of premium rider. And very important, conversion feature is also included. So conversions can be requested prior to the end of the 10th policy anniversary or the policy anniversary following the insured's 70th birthday, whichever is earlier. And they can convert into a product or products that Symetra makes available at that time. We've also made the availability less complicated. The only limitation is a 30-year term offering. It's available to insureds up through age 50. All the other term lengths, 10, 15, 20, are available for all ages. And Swift Term is available in all states except New York, South Carolina, Virginia. I will say that South Carolina is not available because along with the digital app, that state requires that we also provide a paper application process. At this time, that is not available. That's something we're considering, but not at this time. Virginia, we have just gotten approval, so that should be available if it isn't already in that state.
Mark, the date for Virginia is July 29th.
Excellent. Thank you, Erin.
Yep.
Okay. We do often get questions about compensation. Compensation is the same as our core term. Okay. Okay, so Symetra will now be offering 2 term products. So which should you choose when considering a product for your clients? Well, our suggestion would be at least to start by considering Swift Term for cases up through 2 million. Okay, so Swift Term offers, again, lower face amounts as low as 100,000. I'll point out at this point in time, Swift Term policies must only be individual or person-owned. So business or trust-owned policies are not available at launch. Certainly, we understand the importance of that, and it's being planned to be added in the future. Okay, for face amounts 100,000 up to 1.5 million, Swift Term pricing is superior to our core term product. There is a crossover point between 1.5 and 2 million, where Swift Term and core term have the same pricing, and again, they're top tier pricing. Please keep in mind, Swift Term does provide for instant approval and accelerated underwriting and shorter expected timeframes for fully underwritten cases. At this point in time, as I'll move over to our core product, core term would be used for or looked at for situations where you have a case above 2 million. In addition to individually owned, person-owned, core term policies can also be business or trust-owned. Core term is available for older ages, above 60, go all the way up to age 80, and core term is available in New York. And I'll also add that core term would be the choice for those package cases, as a Swift Term process does not allow for outside information to be ingested into it. Just jumping here from our product discussion over to our microsite. As you can see here on the screen, you can see the address at the bottom, and it's our dedicated Swift Term microsite where you can access client approved material, producer approved material, and a lot of other good stuff, including a process video, which I urge you to take a look at if you haven't already seen it. That can be shared with a client. As far as something else that you might want to consider sharing with a client is the Swift Term overview client page. If you click on that, that will bring you to a dedicated microsite for clients. Okay, so it gives them a great introduction to Swift Term, the product, the process, and it even includes a video in there. Also, for your use as well as client use, we have digital process or end-to-end digital process guides that will walk you through from the beginning to the end the process for Swift Term. Another useful marketing piece we have here is the Underwriting Guidelines. And I'm going to have Chuck Fowler, our underwriter, just take a few moments and walk through that a little bit and talk about some of the high points. Okay, so give me a second to bring that up, and then I'll ask Chuck to navigate that piece. Here we go. Okay, Chuck, take it away, please.
Thank you, Mark. So Mark is linked into our underwriting requirements and general guidelines. So hopefully you'll find this helpful as far as information that you may be interested in as you're looking at a particular applicant. So as Mark covered before, there's the limits as far as face amounts and ages for the various products. I'll note right below that grid there, we're only considering U.S. legal residents, so not necessarily citizen, but you do need to be a legal resident of the U.S. to be considered in this program. One of the, some people have a little bit of a misconception maybe about an instant approval or accelerated program, that there is limited or no underwriting that's part of it. We indeed do quite a bit of underwriting, although it is items that we can get on a near instant method to bring into our underwriting engine and provide an assessment right away as far as what path and opportunity for an instant decision. So on the left side of this, we can see here are all the things that we're going out and obtaining as soon as the applicant gives us authorization to go after these items. We get an identity verification. That's simply making sure we have someone that seems like a bona fide applicant. And it also allows us to maybe make sure that we don't have any misspellings in the name or a typo in the date of birth or something like that. So it's a nice way to clean the data, if you will. The applicant does a digital interview as part of this process. So we don't do a tele-interview. The applicant completes it via, the tool of their choice. They can complete that on their telephone. They can complete that, but by telephone, I mean using their smartphone. They can use it that way. Or if they have a computer or laptop, that's how they complete that. We do get a pharmacy check. We get a MIB report, like most carriers in the life insurance arena. We get motor vehicle reports. And then we do use a credit-based insurance score. That's an important component for us to determine what path they may end up going down. If we determine an applicant does indeed need to go to full underwriting, we'll take care of all those underwriting requirements and order those as soon as feasible. So in that initial review, if the client tells us about history or we learn about maybe some medications they take that is going to drive us to do further underwriting, we will place an order with Exam 1. That's our vendor that we're using in this case. And the applicant actually has, at the completion of their interview, they'll have the opportunity to go schedule that as part of that whole application process flow. They'll get linked over to Exam 1's site and they can schedule that exam right there with them. But we do control that and we provide that service for them. That allows that data to flow from SwiftTerm efficiently as well as come back to our SwiftTerm underwriting engine, and so that we can keep it moving quickly. If we go down, we'll talk a little bit about, Mark brought up the 3 paths that we go in. Again, I will highlight just a little bit. We have ambitious goals. I think it's in your interest and our interest to make sure as many of these cases go through in as short a time as possible. We're hoping that in our target market, more the 25 to 45, we can serve anybody 20 to 60, but for the more that core midpoint of that age group, we're hoping that around 40% will get an instant approval. And then another 30% would be eligible for that accelerated underwriting. And currently that accelerated underwriting is getting done usually by next day. That's when our underwriting staff gets knowledge of it. A lot of these are getting completed in the evening. We pull it up the next day and we may have a few questions that we have to throw back to clarify. We may try to access another data tool that would keep it in that fluid list underwriting method. But again, targeting 30% for that. And then the remaining 30% are full underwriting. I'll share also that, even if someone is not a standard risk, if we know that they're a likely substandard because of their medical history, the SwiftTerm platform will still support that. Likely they're going to go the full underwriting, but there's a lot of efficiencies in the underwriting process. So they will still be handled by that. Companies do use various plans like a random holdout and a post-issue review process. We have those as part of our underwriting. They're ways for us to check to make sure that our underwriting practices are sound, but should be a nominal percentage that are going in that route. Next up, we see on here, there's certain conditions that we just know are not likely to go through in those quickest of manners and likely to go to a full underwriting. There's a medical section there. I'll highlight one in particular, marijuana use. We actually can get some pretty attractive underwriting offers on individuals that use modest amounts of marijuana. However, we are not going to support that in a fluid list process. They'll go traditional underwriting. On the non-medical side, one of the things that might catch people is if they have frequent recent life insurance activities. So MIB tells us about all the insurance application activity someone has had in the last 2 years. If those counts are rather high, we're going to send that to the underwriter and make sure we fully understand what that individual's been doing in the insurance arena. Just to encourage you to take a look at those. And is there anything else we have here on Mark? Is that pretty much? Oh yeah, we do have, so again, preferred guidelines that we're sharing with you. The items in the kind of between the green bars, if you will, that's all applies to every risk that goes through SwiftTerm. If the risk happens to go full underwriting, we do have guidelines that need to be met as far as the blood profile and blood pressure, and those are listed there. We also provide on the next page the height and weight chart. So these are the heights and weights that will keep someone eligible for an instant approval. So as long as they report their height and weight in those ranges, they will still, that alone, the height and weight would not move them outside of the opportunity for an instant approval. So I think, Mark, that highlights that form for us.
Great. Thank you, Chuck. Very informative. Appreciate that. Okay, so before I leave the microsite here, I will point out that we also provide you with contact information for live support, and that's at the bottom right here, the SwiftTerm customer service team. I will tell you that we do have an exclusive dedicated SwiftTerm team of underwriters and customer service folks. And Chuck, I don't know, I believe we're continually adding to the team. How many underwriters do we currently have on the team at this point?
Right, so we have a team of 8 dedicated underwriters right now. So they're exclusive to the managing and underwriting the SwiftTerm product.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on. As we've learned and we've discussed, both the producer and the client will be completing information within iPipeline. So the producer completes and submits the drop ticket. And then, as I mentioned, an email is then sent to the client, and then they complete the application. So I just wanted to take a moment or two to highlight a few important points that are worthy of note. So on this slide, you can see this is the initial input screen within iPipeline where the producer inputs the insurance producer information. You'll input your NPN, or if it's not handy, you can look up via the link we've provided. You'll then enter the Symetra producer ID. So if you don't have it handy or you don't have one, it can be left blank for now and it can continue on.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Just to jump in there, I think this
Yep.
is a good point to just talk about those that aren't appointed yet and what the process would be with Joyce. Joyce, are you there?
I'm here, Kelly. Yep.
Yep. Yeah. And that's on that second page. This is the last input screen. And Joyce, if you'd like to jump in at this point as to, or would you like me to kind of lead into that as to what we're looking for here?
You can go ahead and do the lead in, and then I'll talk about
Okay.
the process of the contracting with us.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so on this slide, you can see the final input screen. And this is where you'll be finishing up your insurance producer information and clicking the search for your Symetra ID. So this is where the agent validation process is taking place and it's completed. So in a nutshell, if you're already appointed with Symetra or you're in JIT status, meaning just in time, and that really means that Symetra has paperwork in, appointment paperwork in, you'll be able to continue on and you'll be validated and you'll be able to continue on with the process and submit that drop ticket. However, if you're not either, so you're not appointed nor are you in JIT status, there will be a stop and you'll be guided to initiate the appointment process. And then we'll be contacting your BGA to submit that appointment paperwork to us. So Joyce, at this point, if you'd like to jump in and you know, discuss on your end how you might want to handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
You're
So
welcome.
what I'm going to do is, for everybody that's on the call today, we'll have a list of who's on the call. So I'm going to go ahead and place contracting orders for you with Symetra. So what's going to happen is I'll place the order. You will get a link via email from our contracting department, and you should be familiar with that because you've all been contracted with at least one carrier. So you've gone through that process. So I'm going to do that just to make it easier. So we've got the paperwork in place. If you have any questions, though, you're more than welcome to reach out to me directly and we can talk about the contracting. But I think if we do it ahead of time, it'll just make it so much easier. And again, to any products and questions, you can reach out to me as well. And we can just talk about the process. But as Mark mentioned, we want to have you contracted first. So it just would make it easier than having to go through what Mark had just explained on this page. And I'd rather just kind of keep it flowing. So it doesn't, cost anything to get you appointed up front. We do the work, we just send you out the link, and so we're good to go. So Mark, that's kind of what we've got planned here on this side at Creative One, a wealth in a box.
Okay, great. And I'll just add, Joyce, if for some reason an agent has not gone through the process and they get a stop, we will send notification to your BGA, as I mentioned, to requesting appointment paperwork. If we get that paperwork back quickly, we prioritize our swift term appointments, and it's possible within a business day we could get back with the appointment completed, and that would allow the agent to go back in and complete the drop ticket. So it's not all lost if you're not set up prior. It just might be a quick stop at the very worst. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's one more point I'd like to mention. Mark, you want to go back?
Yes.
If you do have a hard stop for your licensing and you get the unable to proceed, once you get notification that you are now appointed and ready to go, you're going to come back in and open up your drop ticket. You're going to come to this screen and where it says refresh appointment. You're going to click on that, and then it'll allow you to search for your agent ID again, and then you'll select it and you'll have the green checkbox and you'll be able to continue on.
Thanks, Aaron. Good point.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on. So once the drop ticket is completed and the email is sent to the client, this is what the insured will receive via email. So on the left, that's what the client will receive. When the client is ready, they'll click continue to your application, and then they'll choose how to access the application, either via an auto-generated PIN, Google account, or Facebook account. Okay, the client will then begin completing the application. So when they open up their application, digital application that is, they'll verify the information the producer has entered about them on the drop ticket and e-signature authorization. This allows Symetra to collect the data we need and to deliver the policy online. So what the client is authorizing includes the HIPAA authorization to disclose, the e-sign and e-delivery consent, as well as the privacy notice. Once the client completes all their inputs, they will then click on review and sign, and then they'll complete the e-signature consent and will submit the application on the right. A decision is then provided to the client. Here you can see what the decision looks like for each path, the instant approval, the accelerated underwriting, and full underwriting. And at this point, I think there's a good spot. Chuck, if you don't mind jumping in and just detailing a little bit of what happens with that full underwriting path, as far as exams being scheduled, et cetera.
Right, again, and so the link that you will get right here is to go over to exam one, and exam one provides a couple different options on how you can complete an exam if necessary. If you are in an area that has like a Quest Diagnostic Center, I believe you can go and set up your appointment to do a drop-in. Otherwise, there's a traditional paramed examiner that would come out to the location of choice for the applicant. So they can complete that request right through that process, or they can say, no thanks, I'll schedule it later. And what happens then is that exam one will start drilling out calls, and it actually happens usually fairly quickly, that they will call and attempt to set up an appointment with the applicant. Once that exam is completed, the results flow into us at Symetra, and we'll be able to analyze those and get back with a decision.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to share a few more slides with you, just to give you a look at what additional emails, notifications that the client will be receiving. So here's what the approval email looks like for the client. And it is the same for all the three paths, whether it be instant approval, accelerated underwriting, or full underwriting. Once it's approved, the client will receive what you see on the left. They'll then click on Get Coverage and brought to a screen showing policy details on the right. They'll then click on continue to create an account and make payment to accept the coverage. So here's where they select the payment schedule. There's 4 different options here, as you can see: monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual. And they have selected the monthly, of course, here, and they'll click on add a payment method, as you see on the right. Here's what the screen looks like, where the client selects the payment method. Client is setting up payment by bank transfer in this one. Now, it's important to note again here at launch, credit card payment is only accepted for face amounts less than $500,000. The client, as you can see here on the left, will review and pay. And there you have it. Sophia is now covered. And here's what the client policy portal looks like. So as you can see here, provides an overview of their policy details. They have the option to go in and look at payments and billing and make adjustments there, as well as they can look at their coverage details, beneficiary information, make changes as well. And as you can see here, we have a full team ready and willing to assist at any time. So wherever we can, we provide contact information for the client if they have any questions or issues. We can help them with that. So there you have it. So as far as takeaways, so Swift Term, again, offers a fast, easy, and fully automated term purchasing experience for the BGA for yourselves and clients. 3 decision paths: instant approval, accelerated underwriting, full underwriting. As mentioned, again, no tele-interview required of the client. All information is gathered via the digital application. Swift Term offers top-tier pricing and low face amounts, as low as $100,000. And let's not forget the convertibility feature, where a client can convert into any of Symetra's permanent products made available at that time. Okay, that's what I have. Kelly, would you like to take over? Maybe we can answer questions that might be out there.
Yeah, that'd be great, Mark. I appreciate it. We do have some questions. Let me grab the screen back here.
Okay.
And I want to show again the Swift Term link, which is going to be provided from by Anissa and Laura. When we're done, you'll all get access to this. Everything that you need is here. One of the really cool points that they built is they built out this Swift Term video, which is a client approved video, I believe. Mark, is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
And this is a great marketing tool. So one of the things that we can do with Lisa Vanderfin and our Wealth Management Box team is help you build some marketing tools to have this resident in an email form, in your on your website, et cetera, as we continue to grow. I just want to touch, before we answer a few questions, on a couple of things, Mark. We've had tremendous success in working with Symetra. We have numerous of our affiliate partners that are fully engaged with Wealth Management in a Box that are doing tremendous work with the Symetra IUL. One of the key points that Mark made was that these policies, these term policies, once issued, are fully convertible after the first year. Is that correct, Mark?
That is correct. In fact, I have to correct myself, Kelly. I believe they're convertible even within that first policy year. Okay. And I do have to caveat it too by saying that, you know, we always, I guess, we have the option, and up until now, we've been offering convertibility into our IUL products. That still stands today, but it's always subject to change. So just be aware of that. It could be changed. Okay. So, yeah. But,
excellent. So our successful partners that are in the program we're seeing a lot of work. And what's interesting is that, you know, as you see clients and prospects that are coming to the term, when you start getting into the $500,000, $1 million face amounts, there's generally a financial need or a reason that individual client is asking or looking for those higher death benefit amounts. And this is a great opportunity to engage in those types of discussions. I mean, we've had over the last year numerous cases that were originally term policies that turned into tremendous financial planning opportunities where, you know, the agency generated an extra $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 of revenue. So it's designed to give your clients the opportunity to have that conversation, but to also create new opportunities for you on the term side, the insurance side, and add another value proposition. So again, you'll get access to this link. And we're also going to make it available. If you haven't seen this yet, we'll also make sure you get this. This is a new Wealth Management in a Box client-facing website that is up and running for the affiliates that are part of the Wealth Management in a Box program. So these tools have all been built. There are numerous resources here, and we're going to add the Swift Term links and information and videos. As you become an affiliate partner as well, you'll be able to be a part of this national network as Wealth Management in a Box with ASNOA. So there's some tremendous marketing opportunities that are starting to come out of this model and this process. So don't be afraid to jump in and say, hey, I'd like to really talk to somebody, because the next step is obviously getting you contracted. And that's really where you're going to reach out. Joyce is going to have everybody receive their contracting link. And then, as we continue to grow, for some of you folks that are newer into the program with ASNOA, reach out to our team through Laura, Anissa, through Lisa Vanderfin, and let's set up a call to talk about how we can help you add this entire financial planning platform and start with the Swift Term. We're really excited about this opportunity. So, Laura, do we have a few questions that have popped up there?
We do. We have several. Let me scroll through here and see. Barry wanted to know do you have Spanish speaking available?
We do not currently, but it is one of the items on our future roadmap, but we don't have a date.
Okay. Let's see. Bonnie has most policies are no medical. At what face amount does that turn into a paramed?
Chuck,
So-
you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So again, the Swift Term platform is for ages 20 to 60, 100,000 to 2 million, and everybody that meets those requirements is eligible for a potential instant approval or a light touch or fluidless process. As soon as the history dictates it, it may go to an exam. But as long as you're in those age ranges and that face amount, the applicant remains eligible for an instant offer or a accelerated offer.
So it has nothing to do with the death benefit then, right, Chuck?
Not through the 2 million amount, right? The program will support it through 2. If you want, obviously go over to our core term product. There you're going to have exams at the starting point, which is 250,000.
Got it. Well, and again, I think part of the discussion, and Joyce, maybe you can jump in here. When you start to see those clients that are looking for those larger face amounts, there's generally a financial need and a reason to maybe dig a little deeper and leverage the team that you have. Again, we're here to support you and help you grow your practice. And Joyce, I think, as we move into that transition phase for those types of clients, that's really important to know they can reach out to you and do some more case design and a little more digging, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, we may discover that maybe they need a permanent type of policy. We could look at UL or IUL and we can talk about the case. It's also another opportunity for us to dig a little bit deeper on the health history. Even though this is a pretty easy system from the underwriting standpoint that we have with the Swift Term, you still want to be diligent and do your field underwriting, and get an idea and set the right expectations for the client. Because if they've had a history of heart disease or diabetes or cancer, maybe they're not going to get that instant issue. It's going to move over to accelerated or full underwriting. So we want to set the right expectations. So if you have questions around that health history, call me or email me. I'm more than happy to help you. And we have a general underwriting team as well that we can reach out to.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Joyce. And that's designed, guys, again, for your benefit. We all know our clients very well in most cases. And, you can, understand if they're not in the best of health, we need to be diligent in setting the expectation of what that process is going to look like. But, as Chuck said, I think, Chuck, you said 40% or so are going to go through and be immediately issued with no issues. That's our expectation approximately.
Right, that is for those, again, maybe, if you were submitting only 50-year-olds, I don't know if we quite hit that number. We're still going to see a number that get instant approvals. But if we're looking at our target more of that 25 to 45-year-old range, we anticipate we're going to be able to hit the 40% instant and another 30% in that accelerated.
Wonderful. And again, this is designed to just give you another tool in the toolbox to be able to provide another service for that client so they don't go down the street and make sure that we're solidifying your relationship with that client. Laura, any other questions there?
Yeah, there's a couple more. So Nicholas says, I know this is just an example, but does the Sophia in this example have an actual base for that rate, age, preferred class, etc.? I have to ask because this rate is amazing compared to what I've seen in the past.
I'm going to have to defer to Aaron on that.
Yeah, so the screenshots of that was not a real case. It was just screenshots. So it was not based on a real case.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Laura, let me jump in there. And Joyce, you want to jump in? We have run the comparative models on the Swift term, and the difference in prices, Nick, are $1 to $3 to $4 that we're seeing. Joyce, is that about right per month?
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing is that the Swift term is definitely showing up in the top 5 in pricing. And it's really close. I mean, we're talking $3, $4 on an annual basis. So if you are running the quotes and using the Creative One agent portal to run the quotes, the Swift term is now in there and it's showing up, so you'll be able to see it. But again, you can always reach out to me with any questions, but it is very competitive on the pricing.
Yeah.
So you can run a quote then first, is what Diane was asking.
Yeah, absolutely. It's available in our agent portal, in the I go get quotes. So it's ready to go. You will see it in there if you populate the quotes.
All right, awesome. Thank you. And Heather wants to know, do you have to have a primary care physician to be eligible?
No, you would not need to have one. We do not assume that everyone has one.
Okay, fantastic. And Anissa did put those links in there, but we will send that in the follow-up. Another question. So what happens when your client doesn't open up that email? Will there be an email follow-up to let somebody on your team know that they didn't open it, or will the agent get that information to say, hey, they still have not opened up this email?
So if you're talking about the collaboration, I'm assuming yes? To complete the app. So there are 4 emails that are sent to the client directly, letting them know that they haven't completed the application. When the agent goes and looks at their dashboard, their My Cases in iGo, they can see where the client is, if they have opened the link or not.
Okay, and then once it's completed, we know that the applicant gets that. Congratulations, you know, you have coverage. Will the producer as well, or will that be on the
Yes, the agent as well as the BGA get a copy of the congratulations email that went to the client, but the BGA and the agent version of it tells you what the rate class was and the premium and all that information. The rate class information is not on the client's email.
Okay,
and there's also 4 follow-ups that go out to the client as well after it's approved, you know, saying you haven't purchased yet, are you going to purchase? So there are reminders there as well.
Okay.
And Aaron, if you don't mind, could you speak? I know we've had questions on it as far as a decline, what that looks like in terms of notifications, because I think that's important.
Yeah, so we don't have an auto decline per se. If the client is evaluated by our system and the case deems it a decline, what the client will see on screen is, we'll get back to you in 1 to 3 days. The underwriter will have that case referred to them, and that communication regarding the decline will go directly to the BGA and agent. And then a letter will be mailed to the client letting them know that's declined. But we always let the BGA and agent know ahead of time if it's a case where the case is declined.
And so, Aaron, I'll just add a couple of things to what you just said. So at Creative One, Rachel Wiest is the case manager that works with all of us and me. She has all the agents with Asnoa. So just like in the past, if you've written a case and we've had a decline or we've had a table rate or, you know, whatever the update is, Rachel always sends out those emails. So that will still be in place. So we will always be in communication, at least on a weekly basis. And Aaron also mentioned too, in that IGO pipeline where you can start a new case for your applications, you can also view your cases. It will be in there. So that's where she was referring to. Again, that's through that Creative One agent portal.
All right, fantastic. Somebody said something about a marketing strategy. I think that might have been Bonnie, wondering if she would be able to add a link onto her website.
Yeah, part of what we'll do, Bonnie, is get with Joyce and our team at Wealth Management Box with Lisa Vanderfin, and we will help you get the pieces in play. The video, I think, is a tremendous tool for the Swift term, and then we can walk you through. I'm assuming if you've already contracted with Joyce, you know how to go into the portal through Creative One. If not, we'll walk you through how to get into IGO and run the quotes and put the drop tickets in on for the Swift term.
Okay, well, that's all the questions that I have right here.
Wonderful. Laura, I think in closing, we're very excited about this. Again, we appreciate, having a Mark in the team and Chuck and Aaron on. And you just understand that we are an extension of Asnoa. We're part of the Asnoa family. We're not a typical vendor. We're here to help you grow your practice. So use those resources. Again, I can't tell you how excited we are as these new agents come on and being able to work with you with this program. It's going to open up some tremendous doors, and it's not going to require a lot of extra heavy lifting on your part. Our job is to be your support team, to be your back office, to help you add these tools and resources into your practice to give you a differentiating factor. And Laura, I think, we've been with you guys a long time now, and I think, we all sing from the same choir book, so to speak. And it's really important to understand that we are a part of that team. Do not hesitate to reach out. Get a hold of Laura or Anissa or somebody, and they will find us, and we can put the pieces together.
Absolutely.
And we have a little fun when we do it, right, Laura?
Oh, we sure do. And you guys are going to be at the sales conference, correct?
Yes, we will be
Yes.
presenting at the conference. We'll be there all week. We're hosting the golf tournament. We're really excited. So we'll be able to meet with a lot of you in October, but between now and then, let's get you contracted and get this train moving for you.
Awesome. So what I wanted to do real quick, since you brought that up, so for the appointments, you need to reach out to Joyce, and she also has all of your information that we sent to her so she can reach out. So Joyce, you're going to reach out to everybody?
Yep, I sure will. And I'll get that contracting link placed as well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much. We really appreciate that you guys came on and were able to give us all that information. It's really exciting to be able to go in and get an instant quote in 25 minutes. I think that our clients are going to be really happy about that. And that 40% instant approval rate, wow, that is awesome. I'm glad that you guys had brought that up because that is amazing. And if there, we have one more question. Diane wants to know, will there be a quoting widget available?
Hey, Diane, this is Joyce. So the Creative One agent portal, I'll make sure that you are set up in the portal. So I'll take a look at that and then I'll reach out to you. And if we need to get you set up and logged in, I will help you do that. In fact, that goes for everyone on the line today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So at the end of our session, you are going to get the one and only famous evaluation, asking you to please let us know how we're doing, what you'd like to see in upcoming Live with Laura's. So once again, thank you everybody for jumping on today. We had a tremendous group. We got a lot of great information. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Anissa or I, and we can get you in contact with all the great folks that were able to give us all the information today with Wealth Management and Box and Symetra. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Thank you.
You too, guys. Thanks so much.